Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Can TV 21 Hotline. It's hot, hotline. And our show is Let's Talk Etiquette. And my name is Nathan Wright, and I'm the Executive Director of the Etiquette Foundation of Illinois. And we're so pleased to do this subject today. But first, allow me to introduce my special co-host, Miss Georgia Salmon, Etiquette Maven Extraordinary. I enjoy adding all of that to your title because you do deserve that title.
Well,
Welcome.
you. Thank you very much, Mr. Wright. It is indeed a pleasure to be here working with you.
Yes.
And to see this awesome presentation on today.
Oh,
Thank you for inviting me.
Yes. I'm so happy that you're here because we've done this particular session, this particular subject on many occasions. And our students, be they children or adults, they love this subject.
Yes.
And I guess it's just something natural about it. And so, without any further ado, I want to let our audience know. But first, I want you to call us. It's important now. You need to call us. And that number is 312-738-1060. Let me give it to you again. 312-738-1060. And the subject today is table and dining etiquette. Table and dining etiquette. Yes. There's such a thing as table and dining etiquette.
Yes.
Okay, this is not about eating out of a bag or eating out of a box or eating with your hands. I mean, these are great instruments. I have to admit that. These are outstanding. God created some great instruments with these 10 fingers. They built the world, right? So, but dining is such an important discipline.
Yes.
Because we are civilized. We have come to a point in history where we now eat with utensils.
Yes.
And we stopped eating with our hands a while back. So we invented all of these wonderful things to dine with. And it's really a pleasure to know how to dine and what are the rules, etiquette rules of dining. So once you learn these rules, then you're going to be so empowered. It's like basketball. If you don't know the rules of the game, you really don't know what they're doing.
That's right.
Or golf, or chess, or any of those other wonderful disciplines, you have to know the rules.
Yes.
So, two parts to this system. There's table etiquette. Now, table etiquette involves all of the things that's on the table. Everything here has a place. Everything here has a purpose. And so once you know how to set the table and why it's set the way it is, then you can navigate. You know what to do, what fork to pick up, what spoon to pick up, which one not to pick up for that course.
Yes.
And so give me just some basic input as to what this subject has meant to you in your career, because you're a professional lady.
Yes.
And you go to these functions where it's very elaborate and you have a 4 or 5 course dinner and you need to know what to do and you really can't guess it. So give our audience some advice on this subject.
Well, I think it's extremely important and for a couple of reasons. First of all, just to know proper protocol when it comes to eating and to know which fork is for which item that you're going to eat, which knife is for which item you're going to cut with, to know all of the different, there are about 3 different glasses that's here in this demonstration. You need to know which glass is for what and which mug is for what. With not a mug on there, but you need to know which one of these, each of these items are for, and how you can gracefully have a very pleasant dinner.
Yes.
in an very exquisite
Yes.
restaurant and not feel threatened or feel insecure
Right.
in eating your meal.
Right,
And
yes.
trust me, when I became a trainer for the Etiquette Foundation, it was not easy learning all of these different utensils, why they exist, and what they're used for. But it becomes very, very, very addictive once you learn it. Once you
That's
learn
true.
why and for what, you can say, okay, it makes sense.
Yes, yes, it does, it does. And it's so important for every young person or old person or middle-aged person to take the time to learn this discipline. So now we know the show is not long enough because this could be an hour, 2 hour
Yes.
presentation. But we're going to try to go through it real quickly. And you have the tape. If you're recording this show, you can go online and get it from CAN TV at some later point, and then you can go and use it as part of your lesson in terms of learning it. So I'm going to start with table etiquette first and explain to you why the things on the table are set the way they are set. Now, keep in mind, this is a European discipline. In other words, this is the discipline that goes back to the Renaissance, before this country was ever discovered. And as we moved up through the stages of development as human beings, we decided at some point that it would be great to use utensils to eat with as opposed to using our hands. And so this is how this process started. But also keep in mind that it's a celebration. And once mankind solved the problem of feeding himself and herself, which was a major accomplishment,
Yes.
feeding ourselves, well, we didn't have to worry about whether or not we were going to eat the next day. Then we decided to celebrate this wonderful accomplishment, feeding the human family each and every day. And so it's a European table setting. So that means your forks are going to be on your left side and your knives and spoons are going to be on your right side. Now this is set up because this is a European custom, a European table setting. And the reason the forks are on the left side as opposed to on the right is because in Europe they believe in favoring their left hand as opposed to favoring their right hand. So their main hand is their left hand, and this is why the forks are on the left side. Most people don't know that, and this is why we want to take a second to teach you and tell you why the table is set the way it's set. The other rule involving how the table is set is the fact that you eat from out in. So in other words, this is what you see here is a 4-course dinner. And those courses are salad first, and here's your salad fork. It's the smallest of the 2 forks. Soup is second, and here's your soup spoon. Third is your main entree, and this is your dinner knife and your dinner fork. This knife here is your salad fork. So by your salad being first, you would use the salad fork and the salad knife, not your dinner knife. Okay? Everyone following me so far? And then, of course, your last course, your 4th course, is your dessert. And as you can see here, there are 2 utensils at the top of the plate for your dessert. So this is a 4-course meal, and you know that based on the number of utensils that are on the table. Thirdly, you have a little tiny knife right here, and this is on the bread plate, and it's called a butter spreader. Now, above the dessert utensils, you see this little tiny item here. This is a salt cellar with a salt spoon. Next to it is your pepper shaker right here. Okay? Now, to the glasses, all beverages that are to be consumed at a sitting is always on the right side. Never pick up a glass that's on your left side because you're picking the person's glass up that's sitting next to you. So your drinking glasses are always on your right side. And of course that includes your cup and tea and cup, sauce and cup on your right side. So that means all of these glasses are for that purpose and all these beverage items are for that purpose, and they are always on your right side. Now, starting with the glasses, the largest glass on the table is your water goblet. Next to it in this photo is your champagne flute. Now, if this glass is here, you know someone is going to be served or toasted at this particular setting. Okay? Next to it is a red wine glass, which is larger, and following it is a white wine glass. So now you may ask, why are we having two wines at the table? A red wine and a white wine. That tells you that it's going to be two meats served, one white, one red meat. If it's only a white meat, then you would only need one wine glass, and that would be white wine. Okay, so that tells you that you're going to receive two different kinds of meat at this particular setting. Okay, now that's essentially what table etiquette is. And of course, here you see the napkin. And there are two kinds of napkin. There's a dinner napkin, which is about 20 inches square. And then there's a luncheon napkin, which is about 13, 14 inches square. So if it's a dinner party, you want to make sure you have the right size napkin. Now, if this napkin is placed in this position, that's informal. If this is a formal event, then you will put the napkin on the plate here. That tells you that this is a formal event. I'm sure most of us out there have gone to a wedding or retirement party or black tie event. Those are formal events, and that's why the napkin would be placed on the plate as opposed to where you see it is here, right? So quickly, that's a brief on table etiquette. And it's a wonderful discipline to learn, to study, to understand, and you have done this so many times. What do you think? Sitting at that table.
I think it's pretty amazing. And I say that because, first of all, prior to taking the class, the training, I really did not know of all these different items. I didn't know about a salt cellar.
Yes.
I didn't know that of the fruit or the dessert utensils.
Yes.
I really didn't.
Okay.
And I'm sure I'm not alone. I'm
Yes.
sure there are many professionals out there
Yes.
that that's not totally aware of all of the different items
Yes.
that goes with a table setting, a formal table setting. So
That's
it was
true.
very interesting. I have developed my own collection
Yes.
for displays, and it's pretty. If you don't know, learn.
Yes.
Because you never know when you're going to be invited to
So
a
true.
very formal affair or go to an upscale restaurant
Yes.
and see your table setting exactly what you saw in the display.
Yes.
I think it fits me. It really
I think
just
it does.
this fits my
consistent.
my personality, my character,
Yes.
and all of the etiquettes that I've learned.
That's so true. And it's like you have to walk the walk and, as well as talk the talk.
Absolutely.
And if you say you're a middle class, or if you say you're affluent, if you say you're a professional person in the workplace or in your line or work that you do, profession that you pursue, then this is consistent. This knowledge is consistent to be a professional person. And this is really about celebrating your place and station in society.
Yes.
The fact that you know this and you appreciate it, you value it, and so it's reflected in what you do here at the table and how you comport yourself at the table, knowing what to do and when to do it. And if you reflect that, then you can claim to be affluent, you can claim to be a professional person because you won't embarrass yourself. You know, when you go somewhere.
Absolutely. And you know, one of the things that really impressed me most during our training, I met one of the other mavens, and she said that she had gone on an interview, a job interview, and she really, really wanted to get with this company, a Fortune 500 company, and she was invited out for her interview. And the interview took place in a very upscale restaurant. And she said when she they got there, she didn't know which utensil to use because she was not familiar with the formal table setting that where the interview was taking place.
Right.
She didn't get the job, and one of the reasons she said, I really believe I did not get that job because I did not know table etiquette
Yes.
for that interview.
Yes.
And believe it or not, that can very easily be the case and can happen. So I think it's important. I really commend Mr. Wright for training, going out to different schools and colleges and universities, training this etiquette concept because it's important.
It is.
You never know where you're going to go in life.
No.
You never know the kind of setting that you're going to be in.
That's right.
And it would be quite embarrassing to go and you pick up your dinner fork
Right.
for your salad. We must know the difference.
Yes.
You know, and one of the things that impressed me also with this table setting, I didn't know the difference in the different wine glasses.
Yes.
I didn't know that there was a wine glass for red wine
Yes.
and a smaller glass for white wine.
Yes.
I didn't know.
Right.
And if you don't know, you don't know. But
That's
it's
so true.
never ever too late to learn.
Never to learn. That's so true. That's so true. And believe me, if you're trying to climb that ladder, that economic professional ladder, you're going to be more often eating out among your colleagues
Absolutely.
and coworkers and your clients than you may realize. And even though they may not be a client, it may be a co-worker. If you're a doctor or a lawyer or in that profession,
Yes.
you're going to be scrutinized. You're going to be judged
Yes.
by your behavior at the table. You'd be surprised once you learn this, you're going to be scrutinizing the other folks
Yes.
at the table.
And-
you won't say anything naturally, but you will say, mm-hmm. Yes, he has the wrong fork for the salad.
Or he has my fork.
Or he's drinking my water.
Right.
And he just doesn't know any better. And so this is why this discipline is so important. And we're so pleased to be able to bring this kind of information to you so that you will be aware, you will be enlightened. And I thank my co-host for coming and
Thank you.
confessing
Yes, yes, yes.
on, this is not national TV, but confessing to the world that she learned some things that was
Absolutely.
important that she could use for the rest of her life. Now she knows what to do at the table.
Yes.
So, like I said, there's two parts to this discipline. One is table etiquette, and of course there are a number of other little minors, like this is sterling silver, the kind of silver you have here. This is fine china, so that you will know the difference between regular dishes versus fine china.
Yes.
This is a underliner plate or a charger, this little silver thing going around here. When you're setting the table, your blades of your knives are always facing in towards the plate. And of course, this is, like I said, this is a European table setting. And of course, your glasses, these are crystal glasses. To be crystal, it has to be 24% lead in the glass. And so these glasses like this are much more attractive. Sorry about the photo and the fact that you can't really see them. But Ms. Selman said the next time we do this, we should bring in some actual glasses.
Absolutely.
Because you really can't appreciate this quality of dining unless you have some actual samples. One of the things I do want to point out, just some quick minors, and then we're going to move on to dining etiquette. And those quick minors will involve your spoons. Now, I do have some actual spoons here. Look how large that spoon is,
Yes.
as opposed to the photograph. Now, we have two spoons here. These are both soup spoons. Now, what is important about these two spoons is that it indicates the kind of soup you're going to be served. Okay? And so the round bowl soup spoon is a cream soup spoon. So here you see a regular soup spoon, the long oval shaped soup spoon. So that's kind of important to be able to know the difference in these two spoons because you are going to see one or the other. Okay. Now the difference is in how you actually eat with the two different spoons, and I'm going to just pick one of them up to show you. Now remember, eating European, you will have to keep all spoons and knives in your right hand, and you are going to have to learn to eat with your left hand, even if you are right-handed. There's a solution to that, of course, but we're encouraging you to learn to eat European style, and the reason for that is because 85% of the world eats European style. So if you go to Canada, you go to South America, you go to Africa, you go to the Middle East, you go to Asia, they all eat European style. That means they're going to eat with their main hand is going to be their left hand. Okay?
Which was easy for me because I'm left-handed.
You're left-handed, and so am I. It's a challenge for our right-handers out here, which is the majority.
Right.
Okay, we're the minority. So, but the key to it is that when you're eating with this spoon, this is my cream soup spoon, is you always spoon away, up, and then eat from the side of the spoon, like this. Now, when they see you eating that way, they'll know you know the difference in these two spoons. Whereas with the regular soup spoon, like this one, when you spoon away, then you come into your mouth like this, straight in. See? So that's a key clue that you either know what you're doing and you've been trained, or you haven't, and you're guessing. And you're going to get caught guessing because this is an exact discipline. Okay? So that was one little minor tip that I wanted to pass on for this short presentation. Now I'm going to move on to dining etiquette. Okay? And this is going to be a quick lesson for you, and I hope you're able to catch all the little things that may be missing because it is somewhat complex. There are two styles of eating. There's the European style, and then there's the American style. The American style, the table is still set the same way, but what you do, you zigzag. In other words, you still pick the fork up with your left hand and you transfer it into the right hand, and that's the process you do when you're eating American style. But if you learn to eat European style, then you're going to keep the forks in your left hand and your knives and spoons are going to remain in your right hand. Okay? So I'm going to give you a quick one on that. Okay? Now, I'm going to turn it this way. In terms of eating European style, the key is how to pick the fork up, roll the fork up, and then lift it. And then, of course, you bring the fork into the handle of the fork into the center of your hand, and you rotate the fork over in this manner. Now, eating European style, you're going to eat the entire meal, if it's salad or whatever, with the tines of the fork downward, as opposed to the American style, where you then rotate the fork, pass it into your right hand with the tines of the fork up. So then you start with the tines up. And most people eat American style, as you well know. So that's the key to the difference in transferring the fork. Whereas if you're eating European style, you're going to keep the fork in the left hand, and then of course you're going to have your knife in your right hand. So here's how it goes. You pierce, you cut, and then you pierce again, up, and then into your mouth. Okay? Now, when you're resting European style, you simply lay the utensils down on the plate in this position here. Next you pick up your napkin, you blot, place your napkin back in your lap, and then you could either return to eating again, or you can go and consume some liquids. Okay, your water's here, you then pick your, and it's all about the motions of going in, picking it up, and going back and replacing the glass to where you picked it up at. Okay, now this is rest European style for this course. Say this course is salad. Now, if I have completed that course, then I turn my salad fork in this position on the plate so that the server would know that I have completed my salad and won't have to ask me, have I finished my salad? So that's a much simpler process than eating American style. Now I'll do that real quick. So the 3 steps is cut, consume, place your utensil in the rest position European style, blot, then drink. The reason you drink after you blot is so that you can remove all oil from the mouth and won't deposit it on the rim of the glass. Okay? So that's the simple process. And then, of course, if you're finished, you go here. That indicates that you've finished that particular course. Now, quickly, you have any questions so far, Ms. Selman, about what I've discussed so far?
No, I received the training, and it was very complicated learning the these different formats, but it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Once you understand it and understand how it all evolved, it makes sense. My one question is...
Yes. What is your one question?
What kinds of restaurants actually display this type of table setting?
5-star, 4-star restaurants will be the place you would more than likely see this kind of setting. If they have a white tablecloth on the table, that's a pretty good clue that you're in a restaurant that has a formal table setting with all of the utensils. Now, there's some restaurants you may go in, you will see 2 forks that look identical.
Yes.
And that's because, unfortunately, they're not using the appropriate sizes of it. But when you're in a 5-star restaurant, you're going to see that. It looks like we've run out of time. I can't get to the American, unfortunately. But I want to thank everyone who have watched the show. We certainly appreciate it. Call us with your questions on this subject. We'd be more than happy to share it with you. Invite us out to your event or your organization.
Yes.
We'll be more than happy to come out there and teach this in detail. And I guarantee you, it's a life lesson, and you will never forget it, and you'll always appreciate the fact that you learned it from the Etiquette Foundation of Illinois.
Yes.
So, with that said, is there any finals from you?
No, I just challenge people to really get more involved with the table etiquette and the whole concept. The foundation would be more than happy to come out and demonstrate to your organization the importance of this particular experience.
Yes. So with that said, please have a safe weekend. This is the Christmas spirit, and I'm in the Christmas spirit, and Miss Selma is in the Christmas spirit, and we are promoting civility as part of the total year, the 12 months of the year. So with that said, have a wonderful weekend and a safe one.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.